Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring. Is everybody here? I wanted to have a full house before we started. I normally don't teach on a Saturday, but this was an issue and I wasn't going to handle it tomorrow or any other day. So let me just handle it today. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Okay? I woke up this morning to see myself being diverted to Tunde Ednot's page. And I was like, wow, what's going on again? My name, I just heard, there was a mention of my name. So I was like, all right, let me go and check it out. Let me see what exactly is happening on Tunde Ednot's page. So when I got to Tunde Ednot's page, I saw this particular video right there on Tunde Ednot's page. So let me play it from his page and read some of the comments. And this is what made me think of addressing this particular issue. Somebody said, wow, first time teaching on a Saturday, and I have all the children here. They have all gathered before me, all the beautiful children. One person is raising hand, everybody else is hiding. I like to keep them off the camera as much as possible. Most of them don't like coming on the camera, but one particular one loves being on the camera, and that's the one that hardly ever gets on the camera. Right? She's smiling. Anyway, let me get the video so I can play it for you. It's right here. Let's watch the video, and then I'm going to read comments to you. My children are laughing. Oh my God, I have foolish children. Okay, guys, sorry, they're working on the light in my estate. Remember, we are in the poverty capital of the world, so please bear with us. It's not the internet, it is light. So I'm using the backup server now. I don't know if the picture is clear. I usually have complaints about this particular server. Can you guys see me clearly? Can you guys see me clearly? I need an answer. Especially on YouTube. YouTube needs the highest bandwidth. I even have a captain here. So today we are talking about aviation. I have many captains, even Jigga. Somebody says, Daddy Freeze, you need to be genuinely born again. I will rather be a fake born again. Because if what your Pentecostal pastors are selling to you as genuine born againness, you people are on your way to hellfire. If that's the genuine one, I'd rather be fake. Jigga, can you see me clearly so I can continue? Jigga, I need your feedback. Can you see me clearly? Is Irene around? Okay, so Jigga said he can see me clearly, so we can work with the backup today. Usually this backup is very horrible. So I'm going to play the video again from Tunde Ednot's page. Apparently this happened on an Air Peace flight. Today, it was reported from Enugu to Lagos. To Enugu. So let's watch this together again. right, everybody. And my children, please, can people stop laughing? It's not fair. These people have been fooled for a very long time. And I got to talk to one or two pilots. And one pilot, not of that airline, I don't have an official statement from Air Peace. Friends who fly with Air Peace. I haven't got an official statement with them, but I talked to a few pilots, and one pilot complained because I shared the video with him, and he said Nigerians do not listen on. That when they get on the flight, they don't watch everything the cabin crew says they should do. So when the oxygen mask came down, the oxygen king, because he said he had his own experience once before, because the people did not know how to use the masks. And this is the same problem I've had, what we understand today as Christianity. I had a conversation over this with Jigga. And Jigga once told me, he said, look, Daddy Freeze, I pray. And because you walk in the revelation, you don't need to pray much. Once you walk in the revelation, you will not need to pray much. Because the wisdom, an example. There's a Romanian joke about a man coming home to see his wife and mother crying and praying. What's going on? Why are you people crying? Why are you people praying? What's happening? What happened? The guy was panicking. The mother and the wife were like, you can't see it. You can't see it. Oh God, the baby is going to die. What happened to the baby? The guy went into the room and saw the baby on the bed, laughing. How can you tell me that the baby is going to die? Is the baby not laughing? No, you don't get it. There is a bag of salt in the ceiling. The bag of salt is slipping and it's going to fall on the baby and the baby is going to die. The guy looked at the two of them. Adjust the bag of salt or carry the baby. You are here praying and crying. And I realized that that is Nigeria's number one problem. Instead of you to adjust the salt, a free nation member should enter that place and say, thank you, Yahweh, for the fact that I came in on time. That one prayer, thank you, Yahweh. A Muslim will enter that place and say, Allahu Akbar, meaning God is great, and carry the child and move on. But a Pentecostal Christian will come, before you know, you'll be hearing lyrics of Pana, you'll be hearing lyrics of my people perish. Not because they don't pray. Let me read it to you in the Bible. One of my daughters said the foolish perish. Which is actually true. The foolish perish. I like it. I'll use it. My people perish for what? I'll open it for the Bible for you. Hosea chapter 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you as my priests. A typical one of us has rejected knowledge. I had a conversation with 3 pilots today. Jigga, to invite Jigga. And he's going to talk about this subject today because I'm an enthusiast pilot. He is a trained pilot who trains people in simulator. Also here, who funny enough, I spoke to earlier on today too. Hi, DJ Moonlight, how are you doing? So I'm going to whoever of them is a pilot that wants to come through to discuss loss of cabin pressure. From my understanding as a pilot, what happens when you lose cabin pressure? You react in a 737 because this plane's a 737 and I am familiar with the 737. You see, there are 3 things you need to do That's me that doesn't fly commercial, that have not done a simulator. 3 things. 1, drop your oxygen masks. 2, roll one knob to below 10,000 feet or to 10,000 feet. Press one button that says altitude change. Bam. The autopilot, which should not disengage if you have a loss of cabin pressure, that as possible to that desired altitude. That is all you need to do. Of course, watch your speed, regulate your... But sometimes when you just hit that button, it controls the auto throttle. If it's a new generation aircraft, that's all you need to do. Now, you that you're a passenger, what you need to do is calm down. Look at someone beside you and tell them, calm down. Nobody is saying don't pray, but this loud, I die by fire, pray louder is what is putting us in trouble. We are not thinking. Those people that are telling you to pray louder are because while you are praying louder, they want to have access to your money. You don't need to pray loud prayers. Pray under your breath. So if there's any instruction coming from the captain or the crew, you will be able to hear. There's so many, when you have a mayday, even though loss of cabin pressure should not be anything more than a pan. If it is a mayday, you could have instructions like brace. Is it when you are saying that you remember what I was looking at those people in that. How many of them remember what the brace position is? Ignorance kills people faster than lack of prayer, Nigerians. Wake up. Loss of cabin, a plane is a machine. This is an iPhone X. When I got it, it was supposed to be one of the highest phones on the Apple range. One day it shut down. It rebooted. It had a fault. These are machines, they have errors. But you see, a pilot has a book this thick. And in that book, there is a checklist for every emergency. It's called the checklist, and there's a checklist for every emergency. Loss of cabin pressure, what is the checklist? Follow the checklist, you should be fine. A lot of us don't like to... You enter train, you don't know how the train works. You enter aeroplane, you don't know how the aeroplane works. You drive motor, you don't know how the car works. And no wonder your mouth is filled with blasphemous prayers. Somebody saying, is that praying or incantation? What is the clear biblical instruction on speaking in tongues? Did the Bible say when you have an emergency, start to speak in tongues? Is that how to speak in tongues? Lyrics of a Davido song spelled backwards does not translate into tongues. A typical Muslim from a civilized nation on that plane will mutter under his breath, Allahu Akbar, or La ilaha illallah. Simple. So that as he is praising his God, he can hear the emergency. And once the plane descends down, listen, even if I was telling Jigger, because Jigger is a pilot, and I'm bringing him on, I said, if I were the captain, I'll declare Mayday. Jigger said, you don't need a Mayday. I was like, in Nigeria, everything is Mayday as far as I'm concerned. Then when I get down to 10,000 feet, and the plane is stable, I have full control, I can downgrade my Mayday to a pan. I don't know if I'm making sense. So before I say anything further, let me bring Jigger on. Jigger is going to explain, because I owe you, members of the Free Nation, I owe you the explanation of what happened. I took my time to study aviation. Let me give you an example. Jigger, you know what? Let me bring Jigger on. then I'll give him the example as, you know. Where's Jiga? Jiga, I need you on Instagram so I can bring you live. Fantastic, he's there. All right, so the children can come behind me if they want to see Uncle Jiga's face. They wonder, oh. All right, so Jiga, I can't see you.
Can you see?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Okay, finally, you're there. Are you stable? Do you have a stable picture?
Can you see me?
I can see, but you're breaking. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. Let me change the network where Jiga is because we now have electricity. Let me change him to a stronger network. Can you see how many networks I have to have so that we'll have good streams? Okay. Jiga, is it better? Sorry, guys. Just a second. Just 1 second. I need to connect him. Okay. Is it better now?
I can see you clearly. I can hear you.
Okay, fine. It's much better. I can see you. Before, your mouth wasn't coinciding with the words you were saying.
But now it's fine, yeah?
It's perfect now. So, I said I was going to start by giving you some gist first. I was on a plane in Romania. And we're going from one small town that became a very big town to Cluj. I got to the airport. The first thing I noticed was there was a lot of airplane traffic. I was like, wow, this traffic is plenty. So when we're about to take off, I noticed that we took off almost immediately after the plane in front of us. We did a rolling takeoff. Our people don't know what a rolling takeoff is. But as the plane was taking off, we rolled and took off. I was like, what happened? Of course, you know what the consequences is. We entered the wake. So when we landed, as I was going out, the pilot was outside the door greeting people. He was a French pilot flying for a Romanian airline. So I walked up to him. I was like, hi, great job, but why that wake that we entered? That wake was plenty. The guy was like, man, that you see, because of the schedule of the plane, they now said that if he couldn't take off immediately, he has to wait 15 minutes, and he didn't want to wait, blah, 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 blah. So he gave me the explanation. So when he was done, the next question he asked was, what airline do you fly for? He didn't ask if I was a pilot or not. The next question was like, so what airline do you fly for? And I said, no, I'm not a pilot. I'm actually an enthusiast pilot. Because noticing the wake, noticing the traffic, noticing that it coincided with his rolling takeoff, you knew that you had to be flying for an airline, not just
you're waiting for.
And this is what I expect of every member of the Free Nation. You have to have knowledge. You can gain basic aviation knowledge in 2 months. You can of doing your own research. On YouTube, basic aviation knowledge, you can gain it in 2 months. You can gain advanced aviation knowledge in a year. I'm telling you, I've seen little boys of 10 years who, because of watching YouTube videos, will land aeroplane. I've seen it. You see just go and watch it on YouTube. There was a 10-year-old boy who got on a 737 or 747 and landed the plane in a simulator. He did everything.
It's not rocket science, bro.
It's not rocket science. So, Jiga, you are a trained pilot and simulator trainer. Please explain to Nigerians who don't like to hear word what exactly happens when you have the loss of cabin pressure. Did you hear me? Jiga. Hello, Jiga.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, please, I want you to explain to the audience what happens when a plane loses cabin pressure.
First of all, yeah, one of the biggest problems with Nigerians is instructions or manuals. For example, if a Nigerian buys a TV now, they don't check the manual, they don't even read it, they don't even care. So because they don't, that's the same problem that has filtered into Christianity. They don't read the manual of Christianity. So we don't care. So when there's a problem, we just jump to praying and whatever we can do to solve the problem. But the solution to the problem is already in the manual or in the instruction, which you did not read. Anyways, what I saw the video you posted, because you called me this morning, I saw the video, and the thing I noticed was I didn't see the oxygen mask. I don't know if it was my eyes, but I didn't see the oxygen. That means the loss of cabin pressure was not so much. You know what I mean? It was probably just slow loss. It was just reducing slowly, and the guy started to descend. Because he said we were at 32,000 feet, so they had to descend to like 8 or 10,000 feet so that they can regain pressure. So for those that don't understand what is cabin pressure, when you fly in jetliners, when you fly in those big planes, not the small planes, the big planes, the cabins are pressurized. What do you mean? What does pressurization mean? It means that the cabin is there's pressure in the cabin so that you can breathe air
normally,
like you're on the ground or at least 8,000 feet. So the pressure. So plane is at 40,000 or whatever altitude, you breathe like you're on 8,000 feet or on the ground. Because everybody, if you know a bit of science, you know that the higher you go, the lower the pressure. So now they pressurize the cabin so you can breathe. So from that plane, why do plane get in? Why do you lose cabin pressure? One, it could be a faulty pressurization system. Maybe something happened or somewhere in the plane, which is very rare. Two, maybe there's a crack in the fuselage or the glass or something.
Which is even rarer.
Which is rare as well. The most common one is mostly the latch, the door latch. Maybe some of these in a hurry, they didn't close it well. So there's a bit of air, like, pressure coming out of the door, which is the most common. I was very slow. Right. If not, you guys will all die in less than seconds. Without decompression or
hypoxia. And hypoxia is so bad. You die smiling.
That one kicks in at 15 or 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
Anyways, when you lose cabin pressure due to any of all these things.
Oh, wow. Jigga, we're losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Good. Clear now.
So there are two types of pressure, what's it called? Cabin pressure loss. There's the rapid one and the slow one. The rapid one is maybe, for example, like, you guys have seen movies where maybe a window just breaks and boom.
That's it.
Everything in the plane, that one is rapid. Even at that, if the plane is descending very fast, you can still catch that 8 to 10,000 feet altitude. Then there's the slow one. Yeah, the slow one, there's no cause for alarm. That's why it's very important when you enter a plane and the stewards are giving you instructions, telling you what to do. Instead of you to be praying, listen. It's gonna take you. Most of the time they've done it to the way that it doesn't take up to 5 minutes anymore. 2 minutes. They will tell you what to do. Listen to those instructions. They are very, very important. They will save your life quicker than prayers. You can say those instructions will save your life instead of you praying. Because number one, you're praying error. Number two, you're not following instructions. So now, from what the video you posted, what I saw was the plane was descending, right, rapidly, maybe 2,000-3,000 feet per minute, and at that rate, it's still going to get up to 10,000 feet without anybody feeling anything.
Yes.
So the reason why they were screaming was the rate of descent. You know what I mean? Because it's uncomfortable, it's bumpy. But imagine when you're flying straight and level, and all of a sudden you start to descend like your
nose down. Yeah.
You feel like it's like when an elevator is coming down very fast. you feel your stomach like something is moving in your stomach. You know what I mean? But
Then another thing, Jigger, when a pilot is descending normally, he avoids bad weather. But when he's descending an emergency, he just goes through anything in front of him. Most times.
It's not always, because there are some places where it's mountainous. But
Then you can't.
Yeah. So you have to find the route that you can descend, because there are routes where you can descend slowly and all that. I don't know if you remember one time in Athens where a pilot entered, crashed into a mountain. That was what happened. It's mountainous. You can't descend rapidly. You know what I mean? But if it's not, you can't. And it's not made it. It's not
Yeah.
It's not made it at all, because the pilot is following procedure. You know, cabin pressure loss. What's the first thing? First, any professional pilot knows first things first, because it's not the pilot that dropped the oxygen mask. It is the oxygen mask. It's all computerized. As soon as the cabin pressure passes to a certain level, the oxygen mask comes down straight up. The pilot. But what the pilot has to do is descend. So as soon as he starts to descend, in his mind, he wants to catch 8,000 to 10,000. You know, 10,000 to 8,000. Even some of these Dreamliners, they've turned it to 6,000. I told you earlier now, I fly Cessna,
I've flown helicopter at 14,000 before.
14,000, you're still fine. 14,000, you're still very, very comfortable. You know what I mean? You're still very comfortable. It depends on the person as well, and it depends on your experience. But there's no cost for alarm. I've been in planes where I'm flying with Nigerians, and just a small gun during landing, and you see everybody shouting, "Hey, I'm on the pastor." Sorry. When the pilot lands, you see them clapping for the pilot like he did one big thing. He's just doing his job. You know what I mean? He's just doing his job. And all those things are things that we've been trained to do. But Nigerians, especially Nigerians, in Europe, when I fly in Europe and there's maybe something like this happen, you see people taking position, following instruction. You know what I'm saying? They follow instruction to the letter. You don't see anybody kabashing. Because everybody's following instruction, the work becomes easier for the hostess, the cabin crew, everybody. The work easier. Even, like you said, the way they were praying and shouting. If the pilot was even giving announcements, nobody would have heard. Nobody would have heard, because they were praying. So that's bro. I've seen different kind of accidents. I've read about accidents. That one is nothing. That one is nothing. It's just why they were praying, why they were shouting.
They could have created a real scenario while they were shouting.
Yes. Because panic. Imagine, let's say for example, that one of them had a panic attack or started to hyperventilate. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the steward going to do? So the steward is already in our own position that would help helping somebody. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Everybody is going crazy. So, guys, if you're a flyer, it is important for you to listen to instructions. Most people look at it like a waste of time. It is not. If it is a waste of time, those people will not do it again and again and again. Do you know what I'm saying? The stewards, they do the same thing again and again and again. Why? So that you will listen. So every time you enter a plane, just try.
Listen, no matter how many times you've listened before. Okay, it's lost Jigger. Network is bad. We've lost our Facebook audience. I feel like I'm in a plane now. We're losing our instruments. You see, we guys need to have a rethink. Hello, Evelyn. We need to change the way we do things. Hey, Kayla, how are you doing? Beautiful, I can see you. We need to change the way we do things. We cannot do things the way we've been doing them. There's so many accidents in Nigeria that could have been avoided if the people paid more attention to instruction and less attention to prayer. Let us remember that the prayer that our Lord Himself taught us was a 40-second prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Because yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Simple. If you said that prayer in the morning, know that God's going to deliver you from evil faster than all those abracadabra that people are doing. You see, Nigerian pastors are wicked. It's bad enough that they want to take away your money. Must they render you totally brain dead? Mr. Rhymes, oh, how are you? Sorry, oh. Somebody is here with me. A very annoying fellow. So, guys, that's as far as I can go. I want to see if there's any other pilot, because I saw Captain Banjo. I know he won't want to come up. He's a shy guy. Let me see if I could. Okay, wow. My phone's hanging. My phone's behaving like an aeroplane now. Or then say stuff like, let your way be done. Do you understand? Go and do some research on aviation. Know what a plane is. So that when you're having something as minor, you know what a mayday is? A mayday is like a serious emergency. The two pilots I spoke to, I actually thought my method would have been mayday, descend to the right altitude. If you are in control, downgrade to a pan-pan. The pilot said you don't even need mayday. That right from the beginning, you don't need to declare a mayday. Hi, Irene. Irene, remember the day we're talking in the board about aviation? You were yawning. You better don't be on the Nigerian plane, no? Somebody said, I'm a pilot. I'm a pilot for Jesus. Then let's also remember that we need to know his real name. We need to know his real name. We need to know Yahushua. That's his real Hebrew name. You cannot use a British invention, a British Latin invention, to unlock spiritual keys. That is why so many Nigerians, inside these people's minds now, they were saved by God. Inside these people's mind, they had a decompression. Let me tell you, if you press the brake of a car and that brake does not answer you, then you can start calling to God and his angels. But as long as there's a procedure and you're following the procedure, all they did on that plane was follow procedure. And just as you could be crossing the road and be hit by a car and die, so could you die in an airplane. Do not compound your situation by upgrading a pan-pan into a mayday simply because you refuse to listen to instruction. Dear Nigerians, make your New Year resolution be, I mention your name, I will listen to instruction. JJ said, Jigger said something. He said, you buy a phone, you don't read the manual. You go to church and claim you're a Christian, you don't read the manual. How will you read the manual of aeroplane? That's why the one you are supposed to use for Christianity, you will not use it. You'll be using the one you are supposed to use for Christianity, you'll be translating it into aeroplane, and you have a mess. I watched that video. I want to read some comments to you. I said I was going to read comments from Tunde Ednot's page. There are about 1,800 comments. And I actually responded. I was like, wow, One girl, dear Obianoju, my brother, I was in that flight. Na Thanksgiving matter. We thank God. Oh. And I know Obianoju, she's my sister. See, falling off hand. Obianoju, fall hand. Oh. I see people saying scary business. Said some people were making calls. Meg Aisha said, everybody won't go heaven while alive. Nobody won't die. Nobody won't die. Oba Mikel, nobody won't die, but they won't go heaven. Jigga said, you are most likely to get hit by a bus than to die in an airplane crash. Peruzzi Vibe says, I missed the flight because I slept in the car while waiting at the airport. I said, oxygen mask out. What happened? Now, so the people start to, Daddy Freeze, oxygen mask self, no work, according to the sender of the video. Also, Joe Igbokwe, APC press secretary, was on this Air Peace flight. Go to his Facebook. I would not go to a press secretary. It's Lai Mohammed, not press secretary. It's the same problem I have with you people. A press secretary is not a pilot. This is the same problem I have with you people. I cannot go to a Nigerian church because if I go to a Nigerian church, I'll end up teaching the pastor. I don't know how many Nigerian pastors can teach me scripture. I'm not saying this because I'm boastful. I'm saying this because it's the truth. So with my knowledge of aviation, who did I go to? I went to people who are superior to me in aviation. People like Captain Banjo, people like Jigga. I will not go to a press secretary. It was Lai Mohammed's job. Is it not press secretary? Somebody that can teach about aviation. That's the person I want to go and be listening to what happened. Somebody said, Daddy Freeze, they didn't need it. God took control. God bless them. It's always good to always remember God also. He shows mercy. 5 people liked it. They didn't need the oxygen mask. Listen, prayer cannot save you from hypoxia. You will die smiling. You know what hypoxia is? One whole aeroplane had this compression problem. The Helios. It's a very popular story. Greek aeroplane, Helios. That's the name of the flight. Everybody passed out because they did not, maybe the oxygen did not land on time or whatever it was, or I've forgotten what the story was. There was only one guy who had a canister of oxygen. And by the time he was able to make his way to the cockpit, the pilot had passed out, everybody was gone. By the time he was able to make his way to the cockpit, they had run out of fuel. So the plane crashed. Learn about simple things like mass. Prayer cannot save you from hypoxia. No human being. Let me tell you something. Let them put you in. Let them take you to 17,000 feet and then tell you to start praying. See whether that prayer will save you from hypoxia. Ordinary 17,000 feet. You are going to be high like a kite and die like this. Miles Monroe, notorious prayer, did he not die in a plane crash? This prayer that people are even praying, do you even know how to pray? Is it this that people are praying to the God of this earth? 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 4. Satan is the God of this earth. Reciting incantations is praying to Satan, not to God. So even if, you know what, I will waste people's time today. I am going to go to the APC guys' Facebook page. I want to read it. Joe Igbokwe. You guys tell your mom I'm teaching. She's trying to call me. Sorry, guys. Let me just take this call. Yeah, hello, babes. Yes, darling. I'm live. What's up? Okay, they couldn't hear you. They are here in the room with me. Amarachi is in the here with me. Amarachi. Amarachi. They are coming down now. Your mom is looking for you. Quickly, quickly. Sorry, guys. Family. I'm looking. Oh, no. I was looking on Instagram. Let me go to Facebook. I want to see this Joe Igbokwe guy. Joe Igbokwe. Okay. I'm on his page now. Sorry. Where is the guy? People is what I need. You guys are not. Fantastic. I've seen your. Let me read it. We thank God for preserving your lives, written by Joe Igbokwe. Thanking God for preventing what would have been a monumental tragedy today in Nigeria. A monumental. Who gets these people? I had a 7 a.m. Air Peace flight to Enugu this morning on my way to Makurdi, Benue State to attend the third conference of all state APC publicity secretaries. By 7 a.m., the passengers were already in the aircraft ready to go. The aircraft did not leave. The pilot told us they were waiting for completion of paperwork. It was a big fat lie. The aircraft was having technical problems. Through the window, I saw Air Peace engineers fiddling with the aircraft. After more than an hour, their lights were punctured and they asked all passengers to disembark and go to another Air Peace parked beside the one we're supposed to travel with. After wasting almost an hour there without success, they asked us to go back to the airport waiting lounge for further information. We all went. Thereafter, they asked us to go back to the same aircraft. We did again. This was the beginning of our second ordeal. 20 minutes after takeoff, we suddenly saw oxygen masks dropping. I saw other passengers grabbing the oxygen mask in a terribly panicked manner. I managed to put my own as hell was let loose. Some passengers fainted, children crying, mothers weeping and praying, and everybody, including myself, joined in the prayers. After about 20 minutes, the normal pressure was restored, but no smooth ride anymore. I think the pilot lost track too, that he even flew through Enugu Airport until he found his bearing again. The aircraft slowed down. The loss of pressure probably led to the slowdown. Chiga, hello. Loss of cabin pressure leads to aircraft slowdown. Hey! Is this what people have been telling you? You are press secretaries. Cabin pressure leading to aircraft slowdown. Chika, please talk. I beg you. What does cabin? Let me tell you things that you can do that slow plane down. Spoiler. Lifting up your speed brake. Spoiler. That will slow plane down. Retarding your throttle. That will slow plane down. Not cabin pressure. Not cabin pressure. I saw the other passengers grabbing oxygen masks in a terribly panicked manner. I managed to put my own as hell was let loose. Some passengers fainted, children crying, mothers weeping and praying, and everybody, including myself, joined in the prayers. After about 20 minutes, the normal pressure was restored, but no smooth ride anymore. I think the pilot lost track too, that he even flew through Enugu Airport until he found his bearing again. The aircraft slowed down. The loss of pressure probably led to the slowdown. The entire crew panicked, I suppose. At a time I nearly gave up, but God is on the throne. We landed safely thereafter to the glory of God. It was a nightmare. I will not wish my enemies. Air Peace needs total reorganization and comprehensive overhaul to save the company and travelers. I suspect that the aircraft took us to Enugu, was grounded for some technical problems, but was deployed to manage to take us to Enugu because of pressure from passengers who were desperate to travel. It was a big disaster averted. I thank God for the instruments He used to save our lives and manage what will have thrown the nation into deep mourning. One mistake like this will end Air Peace success story. But God forbid, let us try to do the needful always and stop managing something that cannot be managed. Deep maintenance culture is the way to go. So he has the video there. You cannot know if a pilot overshot an airport unless you are in the cockpit with him. Because sometimes when a pilot wants to land, he goes from a certain angle. Every runway has left and right. Jigga, am I lying? So if you pass the left and go and make a turn to come in on the right, doesn't mean you have overshot the airport. Now, there are other factors. There's wind shear. There's, fine, I don't think we can have microburst activity at this period. But there's wind shear. There is, you have to know the kind of winds you have. Do you have tailwinds? Do you have headwinds? That's also going to determine how you're going to land. There's also traffic. So if a plane is not, if it's Mayday, they're going to clear the entire airport and you're coming in with an emergency landing. But if it is not declared a Mayday, if it's a pan and you are in control of your aircraft, you can still join the flow of traffic. So I don't understand what these people are saying. Oh yes, did they have an uncomfortable experience? Yes. Is it something you will want to be in? Absolutely not. But it is not what they are saying. I'm going to call the chairman of Air Peace himself off this, and I'm going to have a discussion with him because he's a gentleman I have spoken to, do you understand, several times. So on a pam you can hold for 15 minutes if traffic is crazy. And if weather is bad, if you have all sorts of crazy winds. Abi Jigga. Because I don't want to understand again. I don't know. It's like my head has just fallen off my body. Oh. Low visibility, definitely. This Harmattan, low visibility. Definitely, I've been on a plane, on a flight in this Harmattan season before. And we had visibility issues. And the localizer was bad. It was leading us somewhere else. If you cannot see the runway clearly, you won't be clear to land. 100%. You know? So when I get off this video, I'm going to call on the Air Peace chairman and have a word with him. And I'm possibly going to have a documentary done at the airport. I will have a conversation with him and see if I can get clearance to do a documentary so people can fly with a bit more confidence. Thank you everyone for joining us. Do you have any questions? Any questions at all? Let me take questions. Do you have any questions at all? Any questions? Let me see if Captain Banjo can join in. Okay, he's not here. People in Nigeria have to learn basic survival skills. We lack basic survival skills. Somebody said, does my wife have a PayPal account? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Somebody said a preacher does not insult and call people names. Paul in the book of Galatians chapter 3 verse 1 insulted one whole nation. Ezekiel, go and find work. Bye-bye. Leave my page. Go and find work. Jigga, ignore Ezekiel. Ignore him, please, please. We are here talking about how to save lives. He's there talking the usual rubbish. See somebody analyze the situation. Say because of cabin pressure, the plane slowed down. That's somebody giving. That's it. How would they not pray? How would they not pray? Why would they not be praying all day? Read, you will not read. You come to Daddy Free Spirit to fight with him. Nigeria needs to do a lot. Yes, we need to improve our flying culture. We need to improve our knowledge. We have so much work to do. But one of the things we have to do is not pray more while flying. Stop praying so much. The prayer our Lord and Savior gave us, unless you don't believe in him and you believe only in your pastors who are half the time crooks. Nigeria has a lot of work to do as a nation and as a people. Somebody said, I want to know how you're able to get your kids back. I have many kids. I'm talking about 2 specific kids that my ex took out of the country without my knowledge, which as far as I'm concerned is a criminal offense, which the right authorities would deal with. So does anybody have any questions? I want to take 1 or 2 questions. Any question? Any question? Any question? Dada Jubril, how can you be part of the Free Nation? It's really actually very easy. I will put somebody in charge of Facebook. So maybe Evelyn will help me coordinate Facebook because I can see she's quite strong on Facebook. Okay, so I'll talk to Evelyn to be in charge of Facebook if we can work with that. Okay, any more questions? So I can round this off and call the Airpeace chairman. Tunde Ednor just posted these guys. Okay, somebody's here crying. Airbag is dropping. You are recording yourself crying. Let me show you. This one just came in. Nigerians, if you read and understood, you will not need to cry. What did I tell you about the... Sorry. Let me show you guys this video. You guys need to see this video. See the lady. She's crying. On Tunde Ednor's page, she's crying. Poor lady, doesn't understand what's going on in aviation, so she is crying. Come on. Join us in the Free Nation where we teach, we give you knowledge. so you can have understanding. You need knowledge and understanding, not tears. Nigerian airspace too can be so scary, so any little thing looks like a major thing. Okay? I feel so sorry because nobody spent time informing her. Nobody, officially the most memorable day of her life. Now, Air Peace is going to have a bad name for something that probably is a normal occurrence in aviation, an uncomfortable occurrence you wouldn't want to have, but it's not something that demands you to start calling the police or anything funny. So that's as far as we can go. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I do beg of you, remember, mediocrity and ignorance will bring you many tears. Mediocrity and ignorance. The bane of this country is also the bad leadership that we have. Because if we had a better crop of leaders, we will not be where we are. We will not have to cry so much. Somebody is asking for t-shirts. Jigga Collins, why are you hiding this t-shirt? Contact from me, my dear. If you want the t-shirts, get in touch with Jigga. If you are outside the country and if you are within the shores of Nigeria, please do get in touch with Taste Buds. Okay? So thank you very much, everyone, and stay blessed. God bless you. All right, I've shut down every other network except YouTube now. Do have yourselves a very lovely day and take care of yourselves. God bless you. Remember, knowledge is key. Experience is important. Ignorance a curse. Mediocrity is painful. Take care. God bless. I love you all. The free nation marches ahead. The word of Christ, the truths about Yahushua will get to the ends of the earth. In Yahushua's mighty name I pray. God bless you all.